Okay, let me start by saying this. First off, when people ask if I want to drink, usually I say I do not drink. I do not say I am sober. And there's many reasons for that, but the first reason is I know that my definition of sobriety will piss some people off, okay? Like people will see my drinking habits, and that's in quotes, and be like, "Girl, you can't claim sobriety for 4 years. You haven't been sober a day in your life." And other people will see my drinking habits, quotes again, and be like, "Girl, that doesn't even count as drinking. What are you talking about? You've been sober your whole life, okay? Like, you've never drank alcohol, okay?" So let me just get that out the way first. If you think you're going to be offended by my definition of sobriety, I'm sorry. I don't claim that on a day to day basis, okay? And much respect to people who are actually fully sober, okay? Much respect to y'all, for real. Stay strong. Love y'all. Love y'all down, okay? And in making this video, I don't know, I guess I just need to clear the air, document how I'm feeling in this very moment. So let's talk about my drinking habits, okay? Let's talk about what my definition of sobriety is. All right. So I never had a sip of alcohol until my 21st birthday. And then honestly, it might be stretching it. I'm not sure for sure, but I believe from my memory, I did not drink until I was 21. Okay. And on my 21st birthday, I decided to get drunk with my boyfriend at the time, and we stayed in the house and got drunk together off of vodka, probably Everclear or something equally horrible. Okay. And that's what I decided to do for my 21st birthday. Okay. Since then, and maybe before then, I don't know, somebody who knew me in college can speak to this. I never went out of my way to get a drink on my own. I would tell my friends if we were going out, I don't drink. My friends who were closest to me knew that I didn't drink. Sometimes I would take a sip of other people's drink. They'd be like, "Angel, I think you'll like this. I think you won't think that it tastes like alcohol," which is one of the main reasons that I don't drink because of the taste of alcohol. So sometimes I would take a sip of other people's drinks just to try what is out there. But for the most part, I never drank. Okay. And there's many reasons as to why I don't drink. Well, not many. One, I don't like the taste of alcohol. Never have. I don't think I ever will. Okay. And two, I have a medical illness. Woo! Chronic illness, girlies. And it's really hard to explain to a drunk person that you're not drinking because of medical reasons. Because then it's a lot of follow up questions, and I don't want to deal with that. Okay. I don't want to deal with that. So usually, if people ask, "Do I want to drink?" I just say, "I'm not drinking." They don't say that I'm sober. I don't say why. But it's honestly, it's quite hard to get like people to not ask you why you're not drinking, you know? If you're not drinking, people automatically assume like you're not drinking because either you're on a bender and you were an alcoholic and now you have to get sober, or there's something wrong with you. So usually I might add that I don't drink because of medical reasons because it's just an excuse at that point. But then people think like I'm stuck up, like I'm not drinking because I want to be healthy. I need my body snatched. I'm on a diet. I'm trying to get tea. You know, I'm trying to get tea. Okay, AAV, AAVE gone wrong. I know what I'm talking about, guys. This is the first time I'm talking to myself for a while. Okay, but yeah. They think like I'm trying to be snooty with it. And then I had to explain, "Oh no, it's not because I'm trying to be healthy. It's because I have a chronic illness that I have to take medication every day. And I just don't like the idea of mixing alcohol with medication, even though the doctors say that it's fine. I just don't personally think that I vibe with it." And then, like, "Oh, what medication do you take? What's wrong with you?" And I have to be like, "Multiple sclerosis." And now I have to explain multiple sclerosis to somebody who can barely stand up. And I don't want to do that. Not every night out. So I think for the most part, I try to just say that I'm not drinking and move on, and people usually accept that. Okay. And so my relationship with drinking, I never did it ever. until my 21st birthday, and I was like, okay, this is a milestone. I can actually buy alcohol myself. Let me buy alcohol and let me get drunk with my boyfriend. This is something that we can do together. And it was fun. It was a vibe. Before that, though, I will say I never even had the urge or desire to drink. I think I tell people that I don't drink because of medical reasons, but the honest truth is I just don't care to. It never has been appealing to me. Like growing up, I would say I was very familiar with alcohol through media, obviously. Also, my dad drinks every day. Not to out him or whatever, but my dad's the type of person, he only drinks three beverages his whole life. I've only seen him drink these three beverages, which is beer, number one, top contender, two, orange juice, and three, coffee. He only drinks beer, orange juice, and coffee. I've never seen this man drink water a day in my life. After 25 years, never seen this man drink water. So I was always familiar with beer, alcohol. Like it's always in my fridge. Literally, bottles upon bottles in my fridge. So it wasn't like I grew up in a sober house. My mom, she would sometimes like get margaritas when we went out to eat. She had glasses of wine, like wine bottles in our house. It was never something that was unfamiliar to me. And I will also say that my parents aren't the type of people who are like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. They more taught us being me and my sisters, how to indulge in things. They, of course, didn't encourage it, but indulge in things in a safe way. Like my mom, she would always tell me, make sure you don't mix dark and light alcohol. Make sure all the people who are coming with you leave with you. You don't want to hear a story about your friend going off with some guy and then something really bad happening to her, you know? She would encourage, don't drink and drive. Y'all have all the resources in the world to get an Uber. Make sure you get an Uber because there's ways to do these things, indulge in life, have experiences without putting yourself in harm's way, you know? Like, don't drink until blackout. You shouldn't be uncontrol of your body. These are all the lessons that I learned growing up. And I definitely listened. But in that same vein, I was like, okay, I'm listening. I know all this information about how to drink, how to be responsible, but I still don't have the desire to drink. And maybe part of that is because also growing up, I was very good. I was very much stay in my lane, as y'all know if you listen to this podcast. Um, I did what I was told, and I was never one to be invited to the parties. The parties with like lots of alcohol, no parent supervision. Like I never was invited to one of those parties. So maybe that's also why I'm like never had the desire. But it wasn't even like if I was invited to those parties, I don't know if I would. Because I had alcohol in my house every single day. I could have easily snuck alcohol for myself and drank it, but I never felt the urge to. And I don't know why. Like I just never cared. I'm sorry if that is not a good answer as to why I am sober, but I never cared. I never did. So I never drank till I was 21. And then after that, people be like, try this, try lemon drop, try this red wine. And I would, but it never appealed to me to keep drinking. And in saying that, I don't know, like I go out, I go to parties, I throw parties, and it's always surprising. Which we'll get into the day that I drank. I throw parties and I provide alcohol for other people. I make sangria. I've been making sangria for people who attend my parties, but I just don't drink it. Like, and when I make the sangria, I did have a taste because I'm like, I can't just be serving people stuff I ain't even like. I don't even know if it's good or not, which I still didn't know if it was good or not. I literally, when people first walked into my party, I was like, you need to try the sangria and tell me if it tastes good because I have no frame of reference. All I taste is alcohol. And I don't like the taste of alcohol, which is also why I don't drink. Okay. Um I wrote notes for this video because I think there is a lot to cover. Um yeah, but I think that is the main reason why I am sober, because I don't like it. Is that enough to tell people that I just don't? So in saying that, you read the title of this video, you're like breaking sobriety after 4 years. How did you become being completely straight edge, not ever desiring to drink, to breaking your sobriety and getting drunk one day, one random day in 2026? Like, what happened? What changed? And I guess what I was experiencing is, first off, I was noticing. I was noticing some patterns. So vague. But I was noticing. So I am somebody who, I throw a lot of parties. That's what I like to do. I like to throw a party once a month, which I've also talked about in this podcast. If this is your first episode, thank you, I guess, for listening. I can't even I can't even vouch for anything I've said in the past, but I believe these podcasts are entertaining. I have at least 3 people who watch on the regular. Shout out to y'all, okay? And I did stop for a while, but I came back because I have something to say. I have things to talk about, guys, okay? I bought a camera. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. I did buy a camera, but I barely know how to work it, so I am still using my iPhone. And it seems to be working pretty well still. So maybe next episode we'll upgrade. Okay. Okay, refocusing on the subject. Okay, though. But I was noticing a pattern. I throw parties, and the goal of my parties really is to get all my friends together, see all my friends in a mixed setting. And I also like entertaining. I don't know, I like having fun with the girls, having fun with the guys. I like bringing us together. Okay, what can I say? I do love a party, and I think it is a good excuse to get people all together. And nobody is hosting house parties anymore. Ugh, we need to get back to it. Okay, so I tried to be a pillar of our community and host my house parties. But anyways, so then one day my little sister asked if she could use my apartment to host her own party. Okay. So of course I am here supervising that party because I'm a great older sister. Um and what I noticed is the difference between our parties. As I said before, at my parties, I always provide alcohol. I tell people, bring your own beer, bring your own weed, bring whatever you smoke, bring whatever you drink. And people do that, but it's like on the sidelines of the party. Like, it's like the undercurrent of the party is drinking and doing drugs. Not any crazy drugs, no meth, nothing like that. But it's like the undercurrent of the party. Like, it's not the forefront of the party's focus. Whereas my little sister's party, which I will also say there is an age gap. My little sister, my younger sister, is still underage. So I think it's also like the excitement of, like, we're out the house, we are getting lit with the girlies. We have this older sister who's buying alcohol for us, like that is all things that are contributing to this. But it's like they weren't even doing anything, which maybe it's a generational thing. I'm not sure. But it was just like they were just drinking, filming TikToks. Some people were smoking and just sitting around. And yeah, they were talking to each other a little bit and then tried to facilitate some games, but things weren't working out. But mainly, like, it seemed like their purpose of the party was to get lit. The purpose of the party didn't seem like having fun, which is what I'm trying to figure out, guys. I'm trying to see, like, is fun to y'all just getting lit? And that was my question and why I decided to drink, I suppose. I was like, there has to be, like, what am I missing? There has to be something that I'm missing. Okay, I do want to backtrack a little bit because in saying that, I realized a key component in my backstory with drinking that I missed out on, which is also that the years that I was supposed to be like partying and getting messed up was COVID. COVID was during my college years, my freshman year of college. We had COVID. And in saying that, I will say, still before that, prior to that, never had the urge to drink. But then COVID hit, and then it was definitely like, okay, now I'm not going to drink alone in my dorm room, you know? And I was somebody who was extra overly cautious during COVID because of my chronic illness, because of my autoimmune disease. So I was not going out to bars and clubs until like well after people were already doing that. So I understand that is also something that may have an effect on my relationship with alcohol. Like I didn't have the crazy party college years because of the pandemic, you know? Everything goes back to that. Really, it did ruin our adulthood, our early adulthood. And in some ways, it's still ruining us. But, anyways, so yeah. So, my years of getting messed up and drinking were ruined by COVID. And so I now see it in my little sister where she is doing the things that young adults do: go crazy, have fun, do drugs, drink alcohol. Okay. And I will say, I try to be the person who never judges. Like, I don't want to be that sober friend who's sitting in the circle, like, ugh, all they're doing is getting messed up. Like, I don't care. Get lit, go crazy. I want to see you drunkenly talk to everybody in the bar. I do. In some ways, I encourage drinking. I want you to drink for me, okay? But I just won't be the one to partake. But, anyways, so I was noticing this difference in parties. And in ways, I felt like I didn't feel like I belonged in some party settings because they would be playing drinking games, for example. And then I had to be like, well, I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking tonight. And then it like defeats the purpose of a drinking game because I'm like sweeping the competition in a drinking game because I'm the only one sober, you know? And that's not fun. That's not. So I don't really know. So I was just trying to figure out like what was the appeal in drinking? What is what is turning everybody to alcohol? Okay? And I guess I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to push myself outside my comfort zone. Last year, hold up, I need to take a sip. A little ASMR for y'all, if you can hear that. But last year, my guiding word for the year was comfort, comfortability. I don't really like making resolutions. I try to make some goals, but my main goal was to feel comfortable in my space. I had moved to Atlanta in August the year before, and so I was still kind of settling. And so I wanted to feel comfortable in my space and my friendships and all of that, and in life. And I guess I wanted to like turn that resolution on its head this year, or that guiding word on its head this year. And I wanted to feel more uncomfortable. I wanted to push myself in the year 2026. I was like, one way that I can push myself is by challenging my idea of sobriety, which is a crazy thing to say. Some people are like, why would you push yourself outside of sobriety? Like, that's a dumb goal. My goal this year is I'm going to start drinking. Crazy, I suppose. But I guess it's just also like trying to determine why I don't drink in actuality. Because, yeah, I guess the main question was like, I didn't feel comfortable drinking in different spaces. I'm sorry that everything I'm saying just feels like a question mark because I'm still trying to like navigate my feelings around it after having drank for the first time in years and years and years. But I guess also part of it was I didn't feel ever safe enough in safe enough space to drink. Which sucks if you're my friend listening to this. Okay, I'd never had the urge. I think that was the underlying thing. But even if I did have the urge, I never felt like the people that I was surrounding myself around were the ones who would take care of me, which is sorry if you feel offended by that. Sorry. And in some ways, I didn't feel like I could take care of myself. Okay, because like in college, everybody's learning how to drink. And I would be the sober person. I just said I wasn't judging, but now I'm judging. But okay, I would be the sober person looking at my friends like y'all are really gonna let her pass out in the bathroom over the toilet, puking her brains out. Like nobody's gonna help her. Somebody help her. Okay? Like that's how I would feel, which is judging. It's judging. It's judging. Okay, I'm judging now. I'm judging. But I'm seeing that I'm like, there's no way can barely take care of themselves. I don't think they could take care of me. Okay, I'm sorry to say that. Okay, I am. I am. That I hear the judgment. Okay, I hear the judgment in those words. Okay, guys, I do. Am I still recording? Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Also, I'm not gonna try to cut this because I feel like everything I'm saying, I don't know, whatever, we'll see. Um, but yeah, so and then when I got older, um, it just I never had the desire. There was one person that I considered drinking with. He was like, if I buy you a drink, somebody I really, really trusted, would you drink it? And I said yes if you bought it. But he is very sweet. And so he knew that I was kind of only drinking it to appease him. So he didn't buy me the drink, if that makes sense. Like, that's my man I would do anything for. Okay. But I didn't. He didn't buy me the drink because he knows me and he knows that's not actually what I wanted. But we don't have to get into that. We'll just gloss over that. To be young in our 20s. Okay. Um, but yeah, what was I even talking about? Now I'm thinking about my man who's not my man. Okay. Okay. We're focused though. So yeah, I didn't really trust anybody. And I guess I finally found myself in a place where the two things collided, where I had the urge to drink to see like what was all the hype about. And I also had some people in my life, some places in my life, and I had myself who I thought I had a stronger sense of trust with. Okay. Like I didn't think I would put myself in harm's way, and I didn't think that the person I invited to watch me drink, facilitate me drink, would let anything bad happen to me. Okay. So now let's finally get into the night. The night that I decided to break my sobriety. Okay. So since the beginning of the year, I had been toying with the idea of anti sobriety. That's what I've been calling it, which I kind of hate because I do respect sober people in so many ways. I do. And I still, right now, I consider myself somebody who is sober adjacent, even after this night out. Okay. I don't know. I can't call myself sober fully. I know that. I know that for sure. but I am sober leaning, guys. I'm still sober leaning. Okay. So since the beginning of the year, I was like, I need to like push myself outside my boundaries, outside my comfort zone. And one way that I could do that is by drinking to figure out who I am as a drunk. Okay. Entering my alcoholic era. Like I just wanted to see. Okay. I guess I did have the urge. Not really the urge to drink, just the urge to see the type of person that I was when drinking. Okay. So I didn't want it to be a big deal. I just kept like casually telling people that I'm going to become an alcoholic in 2026 and seeing their reactions. Because to go from somebody who's like damn near completely sober to somebody who's an alcoholic, of course, that's a major jump. So I keep telling people, I was joking. I was like, I'm going to become an alcoholic in 2026 just to see people's reactions. And some people were supportive in a way where they're like, oh, don't be an alcoholic, but like, why do you want to drink? And maybe we should just plan a night. Maybe you can become a wine girly, like saying all these things. And nobody was really like, I think you should stay sober, which is okay. I think people knew that I wouldn't actually become an alcoholic and that I was just like trying to figure out this part of me. So, yeah. So I've been throwing that at people. I'm going to become an alcoholic in 2026. And I threw it at a couple of my friends. We were at like this little hangout with like three of my friends. And they were like, they want to see me drink. They want to be there the day that I was drinking. But again, it felt like this thing where the people who were in that group were some of my closest friends. One of them is like my bestie, my buddy. I love him down. If you know, you know. Like my bestie for real, my homie, my dog. Okay, now I'm doing too much. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. But he was in that circle and like somebody I would trust with my life in many ways. But I knew that his relationship with drinking might taint my experience. Like that group of friends was too excited about the idea of me drinking. I think I knew somewhat in my head that they would be the type of people who like feed me, feed me, feed me drinks because they're like, okay, it's your first time drinking. We're gonna go crazy. Okay, I need to make sure I'm still recording. Yes. I'm sorry I keep doing that. But I can't lose this because I don't know how this is gonna go. You know? Like I knew, yeah, I kind of felt that they would pressure me in a way that I didn't want to be pressured. Which I, of course, can say no. I've been saying no my whole life to when people offer me alcohol. I have. But I wanted my first experience getting drunk again to be positive. I didn't want to have to tell people no. I wanted to do things on my own time. So I decided, it was a random Saturday. I was like, I'm going to go to a bar that I'm familiar with. They have karaoke. I knew that that would be an entertaining thing for me. I didn't want to just like sit around and get drunk. Like I considered just like getting drunk by myself at home, but that didn't seem fun to me. That didn't seem appealing. I was like, I'm going to go to karaoke. I'm going to get drunk and I'm going to have a good time. But I needed somebody to watch me so that I didn't get super murdered, okay? Because that, of course, being a woman in Atlanta, I was like, oh, I was on Edgewood, I was at Joystick Bar. I was like, I just can't go drinking alone by myself because I might get murdered for the first time. I can't get drunk by myself for the first time and not have somebody supervising me. So yeah, I called up my friend. No, I didn't call him. I texted him. I was like, "Are you busy? Do you want to supervise me drinking?" And I was very strategic about the friend that I picked. The friend that I picked was somebody who did heavily drink and has recently become sober. So I knew that he wouldn't pressure me to get many drinks past what I wanted because he knows what it's like to drink and what it's like to be sober out at a bar. So I specifically chose him for that reason. And I guess we can kind of get into how the night went. I mean, it's not really important, but I did do some planning. I'm not crazy. So I did drink in a very calculated way. I was like, okay, I want to spend the least amount of money possible because I'm also broke at the moment. Please send me money. Cash App, linked in bio. I'm just kidding, but low key, send me money if you have the means. But anyways, so yeah, I was like, I did this in a very calculated way. I set a budget for the night. I wanted to spend $50 and under, no more than $50, which included my Uber there and back and all the drinks that night. And I knew, being a woman, of course, people would buy drinks for me. So it doesn't seem like that bad of a goal. My Uber there was like $20. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I sat in my house, got really pretty. I wanted to look the best that I could, because I want to look good, feel good, you know. Got pretty, and as I was doing my makeup, I drank a cut water, which I had in my fridge. And if you don't know, cut water, I think it's like 11% alcohol. Um, because I knew that that would have fast results, and that's what I wanted, to drink the least amount possible, but still feel drunk. Because I don't like the taste of alcohol, so why would I keep drinking it, guys? I didn't. Yeah, I took the first sip of cut water. I was like, this is nasty. Y'all are disgusting for drinking this on the daily. It's nasty. I don't like it. I don't. Don't. I'm sorry. But yeah, I had to literally chug it because I didn't like the flavor. But yeah, so then I called my Uber, and then when I arrived at the bar, the friend that I invited wasn't there yet, but my other friend just happened to be at the bar. It was at Joystick. If you don't know, they have a show there every Saturday, and so the person who hosted the show that week was still like hanging out at the bar when I arrived. So I talked to him, told him about what I was doing, and I was like, "Do I seem drunk?" And he was like, "No, you seem normal." And then this is the friend. He was like, "You have parties all the time, and you provide alcohol, and you don't drink." I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't drink." So I showed up at the bar. I guess I was like a little tipsy, maybe. And then I didn't drink anything once I got there. I made sure also, because I'm smart, guys. I was not just gonna go like blackout wasted, like not take care of myself. So I drank water in between the cut water. And then when I got there, I also drank water. And then I did a little karaoke, you know, dancing, having fun. But I like karaoke regardless, which we will get into. My experience like drinking at the bars versus sober at the bars. Okay. I was doing karaoke a bit, you know, dancing around. Then the friend who was there at the bar already, I asked him what drink I should get next, and I wanted something cheap, and he told me to get some dumb drink. It's like it's called like the Drunk Dad or something like that, but in Spanish. And I didn't know what it was, but he was like it was cheap, and you know, I asked for cheap, and that was fine. It happened to be like a tequila shot and a beer, which would not have been my choice. But I took the shot, and then I'm like nursing the beer because I don't like beer. Beer is a boy drink. I don't know why he told I don't know why he told me to get that, but I was like nursing the beer or whatever, still doing karaoke, da 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 da. And then finally the friend that I wanted to be there to watch me comes. And when he comes, he has a whole posse of people who I also know, which I did not expect. I did not expect so many people to be a part of my first drinking experience, but it was a lot of, and that was like five of them. Okay. I wish I could use names, but I don't really want people to know who saw me drunk. Okay. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Okay. Um, but yeah, so then they're all there. And at this point, I am a little lit. I will say I was a little lit. I was a little wobbly. But again, the friend that I invited primarily to see me, he was like, "You don't seem that drunk." It was only like when I was like, you know, a little off my feet, off balance. Okay. but I was fine. Like I could still text normal. I was still just like having fun, I guess. And I think the main reason that I invited a friend to watch me was because I didn't want to get super murdered, but also I just wanted people to tell me that I was normal. Like I didn't want to seem not myself, you know? Like I just wanted to see what type of drunk I was. And yeah, people were saying that I was very normal. Like I guess I was more talkative, I suppose, but not even. Cuz like when I go out, the goal of going out is to have fun, talk to a lot of different people. I will say I was talking to ugly men more than I would have if I was sober, cuz I don't do that. But in all other regards, I think I was like I'm if I'm out, I'm normally like bubbly fun, having fun. Okay. I will say one major difference that I felt is I have a lot of guy friends for some reason. It's an obvious reason. I do stand up comedy, so I have a lot of guy friends. Okay, and we were like sitting in a circle chatting at Joystick Bar. And usually when I'm in that circle of guys out, guys of course have a very like demanding presence in a conversation. Like override the conversation. You know how they be. And I felt like usually when I'm in those circles, I take a step back and I'm like, I don't need to talk. Just let them talk. I'll insert myself when I didn't want to. But if they start talking over me, I'm not gonna like push, to be a part of the conversation. I don't care that much. But I felt like when I was drunk, I was definitely like inserting myself more in the conversation. Maybe that's also because it was just like I wanted to have fun that night and I felt comfortable with the people that were there. I don't know. There's major factors, lots of different factors. Okay. I'm not sure. But, anyways, so then I post on my Instagram story, which I am cognizant of this. I do remember this. I post on my Instagram story that I'm getting drunk for the first time in 4 years. So I'm putting everything on my close friend story. And I get a lot of like people commenting on that, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm not there for that. Like, what? Why'd you get drunk without me? All this stuff. Lots of DMs on my close friend story, which I need to filter out my close friend story. I have too many people in my close friends, but I like it. I don't know. But anyways, so then people are texting me, and then two of my friends who are out, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna come and meet you at Joystick." So then two more of my friends come to Joystick, and we're having fun. Okay, we're having fun. It's the time. I'm giggling. I'm talking with the boys. It's all men. I don't have any girly friends. Oh, two of my girly friends were at a different party, but my main thing was, and they invited me. They were like, "It's just down the street." It was like 6 minutes away. I literally googled it, looked it up, and it wasn't that far. But yeah, it was just like I wanted to be in a space that I was comfortable with, a bar that I was comfortable with, and I knew that if I took myself into an uncomfortable situation, that I might not have that much fun because then I would be like overthinking everything, how I was functioning. I knew that because I already overthink how I'm feeling if I'm in an uncomfortable space. So I was like, I don't need to be drunk for the first time in years and in an uncomfortable space. Like I just can't do that. Like they were at a rave. I can't. I would like literally like combust. Like there's no way. Um so I stayed where I was at Joystick. But when my other two friends got to Joystick, I told them they got that I was almost doxed myself. Not doxed myself, doxed the guy that I was with. I told him that the guy that was there first, like, he got me beer, and I was like, ew, that's a boy's drink. And so then I love being a girly because they buy drinks for you. The guy friend who came, he got me a pineapple tequila. So this is, I guess, my third drink of the night, maybe fourth. Okay. So at this point, I had a cut water, tequila shot, the beer that I had been nursing for like maybe like 40 minutes. And then he got me pineapple tequila mixed drink or whatever. Okay. So I drank that. And then we went to a different bar down the street. We walked to a different bar down the street, me and the two guy friends that just showed up. And then that was a more like dancing bar, our bar. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Black bar. And then at our bar, they get me a shot. And then I run into my friend, who is an R bar regular. Love her down because I was looking for her. and then I couldn't find her, and then I finally found her. It was fun, and so we danced, um, got lit, took some photos, and then on the way home, we also hopped into another bar. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and it was fun. I was drunk, definitely. I could still remember everything. I'm trying not to like overexpose myself. I will say I did end up kissing somebody I probably shouldn't have. But the vibes were already there before I started drinking, so it wasn't like I'm just drunk out of my mind kissing a stranger. No, we had been texting kind of. Um, and then like night led where it led, which is fine. Okay. I'm grown. Um, but yeah, so they drove me home to a home. Um, and yeah, that was the end of my night basically. But everybody said I was normal. I think I was just more loose. I don't know though. I don't know. I think in any setting, anytime I go out with people, I like to dance. I like to talk to different people. Like I was off balance, definitely. I was falling over, definitely. Like not falling over like I couldn't stand up because that is too much. I would never get that drunk. Okay, I'm saying never, and that's too much. Now I'm judging again. I don't know. I don't know. But I wasn't like falling over. But if I leaned a little bit too far, I kept leaning. Like I could. I don't know. I didn't feel that drunk though. Like I was still aware of everything, and I didn't drink that much. I suppose. Like okay, so all in all, what I had was a Cutwater tequila shot, like half a beer, tequila pineapple drink, and another tequila shot. And I will say, all throughout the night, I kept being like, I need water. Somebody get me water. I would like some water. Because I did not want to be, I didn't want to throw up, first of all. And I just didn't want to be like on my ass. Like, I didn't want to. Like, I wanted to have fun. And maybe my goal, again, if I ever drink again, will be like get drunk until blackout. But no, I don't think that appeals to me. Like, I don't know. But I had fun. It was a fun night. Okay, so that is my night of drinking. That's what happened. Very planned and executed. I think I spent like $35, which is less than my goal, which is nice. I love having men buy drinks for you. Yes. Okay. So I guess now comparing my night out drinking to my night out sober. And I personally don't think it's worth it, guys. I don't. And this is not me preaching sobriety. Oh, wait, I want to say, also, sorry, before I go on to this, I did kind of start a fuck sobriety chant at the karaoke. I didn't start it. I was just like on the mic saying like this is the first time I'm drinking in years and I'm about to kill this song or something like that. And then somebody shouted in the audience like fuck sobriety and I was like okay yeah fuck sobriety and then it was like a little chant which I did not mean to do but it happened and it was fun and I love starting a movement. Anti-sobriety, guys, anti-sobriety. But no, okay. I'm not saying that I'm not preaching sobriety. Like if you want to drink, I think you should be able to drink as long as you're not harming yourself or others, period. Okay. But I don't think it's worth it. And that is coming from somebody who has never really drank, and that is coming from somebody who doesn't like the appeal or taste of alcohol. But I don't think it's worth it for me. Para me, it's not worth it. I don't know what it's not worth it is in Spanish, but para me, it's not worth it. Okay. First off, the cost. Okay. I gotta buy an Uber there. I'm the type of person I'll drive anywhere. I drive everywhere and anywhere. Cause I don't ever get Ubers. Like my Uber history is probably less than like 10 Ubers over the existence of Uber. I don't Uber. I recently went to Florida for a work conference, got an Uber, happened to be a Tesla. Don't even know how to open the Tesla doors because I don't drive. I don't be getting in other people's cars. I drive everywhere. I am DD every single time we go. So, yeah, Ubers are expensive, drinks are expensive, and I don't have money to ball out, guys. I don't. Then I guess my main question of, was it worth it? Like, what am I missing from the people who just like get like wasted at every single party? I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I don't know, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm a vibe sober too. Like during karaoke, I get lit like I'm drunk just off the vibe, the music, being in this room with people. Okay. And it was slightly more fun, I've said, I guess, when I was drunk. I guess I was a little more loose. I don't know though. I don't feel like I was. I don't. Not at karaoke, at least. And dancing in the end, I think I was like throwing it back a little bit more than I would have if I was sober. Cause especially like I don't like I don't know how to say this nicely. I don't like throwing ass at a bar when the people that I'm with are only guys. Cause then I just, I don't know. I feel weird, icky. I love throwing ass with the girlies, with the besties. Like I'll break it down, drop it down low, okay? But when it's all guys, I'm like, ugh. I want to throw ass on my besties. I don't want to throw ass on this friend, which I did kiss him. So was he a friend? I don't know. He's a friend. Okay. But like, yeah, it's a different vibe. You know, it is a different vibe. I like dancing with the girlies. So I think I wouldn't have danced as much sober with that group of friends at that bar. But if all things aligned, I love dancing sober too, you know? The only thing I would say is different is honestly, I think I had less of a tolerance for sitting and just talking to people when drunk. Like sober, going out, sitting and talking to people, that's fun, regardless if they're drunk or not. But if when I was drunk, I'm like, why are we just sitting here? Get up. Let's dance. Let's talk to people. Come on. Come on. I was like, why are we sitting right now? Like this was my well, I just and it's sorry. I keep like going back and forth because it's also like the headspace I was in. Like I wanted to go out and have fun, and then people were just sitting in a circle. People I didn't even invite, first of all, but they were cool. They were fine. And it was like, okay, come on, guys, let's do karaoke. Let's get up. Come on, get up, get up, get up. But nobody was really feeling it, which is okay because only one person knew my intent of the night was to get lit, lit as in party, and also lit as in drunk. Okay, so I don't know. It didn't really have a strong appeal to me. Like I don't think I need it to have fun. And I think if you need it to have fun, that's when you become an alcoholic. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know. So, will I ever drink again? Probably. Again, I still just don't have the urge to. I don't. Because maybe it's also because I don't have money. Oh, I wanted to say this too. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Section culture too. I recently went out. I wasn't drinking, but I was out with friends who were drinking, and they were in a section, and nobody could even dance in the section. Again, I'm sober, so I'm just watching everybody. Not watching, but I'm just like vibing a little bit, trying to dance a little bit. But there's no space to dance in the section. Maybe it's also because it was a small section, a small club, and we had too many girls. But it's like, I don't see the point of just being drunk and just sitting in a section. I want to dance. Can we dance? Can we bring back dancing to the club? I don't care if you're sober or you're drunk. Let's just bring back dancing, period. So, yeah, I don't think I like section culture either, which is just another tangent to throw in here since I'm talking about all things party. But will I drink again? Will I get drunk again? Maybe, probably. I told the guy friend that I who initially offered me to drink, if you remember all the way back. He was like, I'll buy you a drink and then didn't buy me the drink because he knew how I felt. I told him like maybe I'll drink with you when you're back around. Um, but again, I don't feel the urge. I don't feel the desire. I don't think it makes me more fun of a person when I'm out, which maybe the people would disagree with that. Everybody said I was normal, which I'm taking that to heart, that I was normal, that I didn't seem like out of character to what I usually would be on a party day. But maybe they're lying to me. So I don't know if you see this video and you happen to be one of the people who's out with me. Let me know how I was really acting if you lied to me. But I don't know. Yeah, and a lot of people are sad that I drank without them, which is a crazy thing to be sad about. Okay, not seriously sad though, but they're just like, dang, I missed it, you know? But I just don't have the urge. I don't see why I would do it again. Like I got my 1-2 out. I learned that I'm gonna have a good time regardless because when I go out I have a good time. But I don't know. I don't know. So the answer is will I drink again? I don't know. Maybe, probably. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Okay. And finally, this last thing that I have is how to be sober at a party. I think it was interesting to find out that a lot of people didn't know that I was sober. I think that's always a thing. It's always a common occurrence. Anytime I tell people that I'm not drinking, people who I've known for years and years and years are like, "You don't drink?" You know, I don't like preach it to the masses that I'm sober. Sober again in quotes, guys. Don't get offended by me saying sober. Okay, don't get offended. Um, but yeah, I don't like yell it from the rooftops that I'm sober because first off, it's nobody's business. Whether you're sober or not, I think people should stop pressuring people one way or another. Do what you want as long as it's not hurting you or others, period. Um, but I think I also get away with being sober because I'm a good vibe, guys. It's easy to be sober if you're a vibe. Nobody will ask you anything, okay? And also, if you just want tips on how to be sober in party settings, one, if it's a house party, bring your own non-alcoholic drinks. I usually pop a Coke in my bag, little Minute Maid lemonade. I'm good for the whole night, sipping on it. Sprite, okay? Especially things like if you want to really go covert, things that look like alcohol, okay? Like a Sprite can easily be vodka or whatever, you know? If you want to get real cute, cranberry Sprite. Vodka cranberry? Who knows? It has bubbles. Who knows though? Like who knows, you know? Like you can really like disguise a lot of things as alcohol if you want to go that far. But yeah, always have your own drink so that you're just not sitting there with nothing because if you have no drink, people are going to ask if you want to drink. Which is fine. It's okay for them to do that. Secondly, if you can at a house party, red solo cup so nobody sees what's in your cup. And also, you want to not fill the cup like all the way. Does this make sense? You don't want to fill the cup all the way because, of course, when people are drinking alcohol, usually they have like shot size portions. So you just want to pour a little bit at a time and just always have something in your cup. And yeah, extra bonus points if it looks like alcohol. But yeah, red solo cup, you can't really tell. And I guess that's my main tips. I mean, you can also always be the person who offers to like buy everybody drinks if you got it like that. You could just be like, okay, I'll get the next round if you're out. And then people won't even question what you're drinking because they're like, oh, she's buying me a drink. Ooh, okay. Don't even worry about it, girl. Like, just give me the drink, you know? Like, so they won't even know. And then if people ask if you want a drink and you're out, you could just be like, oh, I just want water right now. I just want Sprite right now. You don't even have to say, like, you're sober. You don't. The man approaches you at a bar, they do this. often. I mean, if you're hot enough, sure. But if a man approaches you at a bar and asks, "What are you drinking?" It's okay to be honest. I'm always honest. And I'm like Sprite, and then sometimes I laugh and they think I'm joking, but I'm dead ass. Um, and they don't take any like offense to it. And most times they're not like, "Oh my gosh, are you sober?" Most times it's like, "Oh, okay, Sprite, that's cool. Now I don't have to buy her a drink," you know. So if you're struggling with sobriety, I wish you the best of luck. I don't know what to say. I don't know why I threw that in there. But I do wish you the best of luck, for real, for real. And I think it doesn't have to be okay. I was about to say something that could have been controversial because I was like, it doesn't have to be hard, but I don't know what it's like to crave alcohol. So I can never say that it's not hard to be sober. I'll take that statement back because yeah, even people asking me tips for sobriety, bro, I don't know for real because I never like wish to drink alcohol. So if you are struggling with sobriety, good luck. I will say that. And that's all I can say. I'm sorry, I don't have anything more for that. But I think just people should normalize it. Being sober in your 20s, it's okay. People aren't judging you really for being sober in your 20s unless you're surrounding yourself in the wrong crowds. And it is perfectly fine to be sober at a club. It is perfectly fine to be sober at a rave. It is perfectly fine to be sober at a bar. I attend all those places frequently. I go to bars almost every single night for doing stand up comedy, and I never buy a drink for myself. I never drink until that one night. So it is possible. You can do it. And if you are struggling, I hope you can find the resources to help support you in your sobriety journey. Okay. But yeah, that's been my experience drinking. If you have any questions, you can DM me. If you care to hear more, you can leave me questions and maybe I can do a Q&A later. I don't know if I'm really that important, but I just think this might clear some air for people as to why I started drinking. And I don't want to say started drinking. Okay, now I'm rambling. But I don't want to say started drinking because I haven't drank since. And I don't think I have no desire, no future craving to get another drink, to have another night out drinking, okay? But clear the air as to why I drank that night. And I think it also is in every video that I make a good documentation of where I am, my headspace in this current time. So, yeah, my name is Angel. I'm currently 25 years old. It is currently January 25th, 2026. And I just recently broke sobriety after 4 years, if you want to call it sobriety. But yeah, thank y'all for listening. Maybe I'll be back again when I have something really important to say. But y'all have a lovely night. Good night.